This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to being well. I'm George Campbell, your host, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, and we're excited to take your calls about life, money, relationships, boundaries, career, you name it. We are here for you to help you take that right next step. The number to call is 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Michelle kicks us off. She's in Kalamazoo. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Absolutely. How can John and I help?
I have a question on, I have $54,000 in student loan debt. I stopped paying on student loans when, everything happened a couple years ago. My payment was $687 a month, and now I'm realizing I probably should have continued to pay that since there was no interest and it would all go towards principal. I have approximately $9,000 in my savings account, which is kind of like emergency money. And I'm just curious if I should take out a chunk of that money to start paying down on that. Should I just start up my regular payments? What should I do to tackle that?
All of it. So, Michelle, what's your income?
$60,000.
Cool. Okay. And what kind of work are you in?
I'm an occupational therapist.
Awesome. Good for you. And is this $9,000, is that all the money you have to your name? That's liquid?
That's liquid, yes.
Okay. So what we teach, baby step one, $1,000 starter emergency fund, and everything else is going to go towards the debt, which means $8,000 of your $9,000 goes towards the debt. Does that scare you a little bit?
A little bit.
Good. That's exactly what I want. I kind of want you to not be comfortable for a short period of time. So I want you to start doing the math and go, okay, at $54,000, I make $60K. Can I do overtime? Can I do some side hustles? Can I get rid of this debt in the next 2 years? Do you think you can do that?
I think I could.
Michelle, how $60,000 for an occupational therapist feels low to me. Are you at a place that you just love, or are you being underpaid dramatically for the market?
Well, I do work with kids, so that does pay a little bit lower, and I'm in a highly OT populated area.
Okay.
So I could pick up something with adults, like as a PRN weekend type thing, in order to increase that.
I would love, following George, I would love to, that angst you feel, like you're going to feel super exposed. Like you are sitting on a sidewalk in a major intersection and you just got like a hand towel covering you up, right? You're going to feel like that with a $1,000 emergency fund. I want you to channel that angst into, I'm going to work 7 days a week for the next 24 months and be done forever. You know what I mean? I'm just going to change all of this.
Yep.
Michelle, if I showed up at your door every single month with $700 cash just for fun, would you be stoked?
Definitely.
Well, that's what you get to do for yourself when you pay these student loans off. And then think about, what would I want to do with that $700 extra a month? Do I want to invest it? Do I want to save? Do I want to finally go on that trip? Because right now, I feel like you've just been in this limbo of like, well, we'll see what happens, and student loan forgiveness, and there's no interest. But like you mentioned, Right now is when you actually feel the progress, where the loans aren't continuing to accrue interest and build, and you go, wait, it was 54, now it's 58? I'll never get through this. And so I want you to take advantage of this time to make that progress. And if that means getting the side job, getting a different job, doing whatever it takes, slashing expenses, I'm totally good with that.
Okay. So pay the $8,000, like $8,000 of it off, and then start doing those actual payments per month.
Absolutely.
What was the total?
$687 a month.
No.
Total debt was
$54,000.
Oh, so it's 54. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's how, when I had six figures in student loans, I had a lot. I got 2 degrees and a lot of loans. The way I got through it was the rule of tens in the front. So all I wanted to do was whatever it took to get that front number to be one lower. So today, you're going to have a psychological victory because you owe $55,000. And then right after this call, you're going to go hit a couple of buttons on your computer, and that first number is going to be a 4 now. And then you can say, okay, how crazy can I be in the next 90 days and get that sucker down to a 3 in front, right? And I'm just going to drill on that front number. And that's how I keep going when I've had such a big number, is I want to just drop that front number. We're about to do it on our mortgage. And it feels so good to all right, we just got another number down, right? So it feels good to keep plugging along that way.
Are you doing an every dollar budget currently, Michelle?
I'm trying to.
No, there is no try. Yoda said that.
Okay, so I'm not.
Can we help you try? Can I gift you every dollar premium to help you? It'll track your transactions, connect to your bank, and make it even easier to stick to it.
Yes, that would be awesome. Thank you.
That is my gift to you to give you a push on this journey. It also includes Financial Peace University. And big news, John, we just added new videos with John and I for the first time ever. We are now inside of Financial Peace University.
Level up.
So you can go check out that wise spending lesson to help you in that area. And on top of that, it's all inside of Ramsey Plus. So there's coaching in there for help along the way with our team and a ton of tools and resources. So that'll be our gift to you, Michelle. Would you call us back when you're debt-free?
I definitely will.
We'd love to hear it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, we're cheering you on. This is a big one, John. But you and I both had student loans. You had way more because you're way smarter than me.
I don't think that's how that works.
I mean, you have multiple PhDs.
I sat in more classrooms than you did, and accrued more.
I have a Bachelor of Science in Communication.
Yes.
And I'm using that degree, John. I'll have you know. I'm communicating right now.
We both are using our degrees. I'm proud of us. And by the way, you mentioned something to Michelle. You said if I just showed up at your house once a month. I wish you'd show up at my house once a month, George. It'd be great. You don't even have to bring $700. You can just show up and hang out.
I don't even have your address, John. You live that far off the grid. Do you even have an address?
I do not.
It's just like take a right when you see the big oak tree with the mark on it. It's one of those. Right. You'll never find Dr. John.
You don't say that because there's some
I challenge you guys to find. No, please don't do that.
Yeah, you probably don't want to do that.
Oh, that's good times.
Because I'm waiting for you. Yes.
So I graduated with about $36,000 in student loan debt. I thought my parents were rich because my dad was like, we got it taken care of. What I didn't know was that was just meant he's going to help me sign up for the loans.
That was nice.
Very kind of him. And so I graduated going, I got to pay this back now. That's how this works. And, here's the monthly. I didn't understand what the monthly payment was going to be versus how much I made.
Knew I had to pay it back. I just didn't understand what that meant.
What that felt like in your actual reality.
I thought when I got my job, I would get all of this money. And all of this money would give me a house and a car and food. And
because you deserve it, John.
Love America. And I thought I was just going to have all this. And it was like, no, that's $800 a month or $2,000, whatever the number ended up being. I thought, I can't do any of this other stuff. And they're like, yep, keep paying. You know what I mean? I didn't know what it meant, but it's good. It's good.
And here we are today, $1.7 trillion, 45 million Americans buried under this thing. The new American dream is to now be debt-free and not have student loan debt.
Can you imagine? All we're trying to do is get America to zero.
That's it. That's all. Just a baseline, foundational. But that's what we're here to do. We want to help you win with your life, your money, your career, your mental health. We are here for you. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Welcome back to the Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. I host the Fine Print podcast as well as the Entree Leadership podcast, all of which you can find on the Ramsey Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. Fred joins us up next in Bristol, Vermont. Fred, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Hey, I have a question. My wife and I currently owe about $80,000 left on our mortgage, and my wife and I have a disagreement about whether or not we should pay off the house or invest the money that we make at a higher rate than 15% of our income, it's like we would benefit from the tax for tax purposes for not being in such a higher tax bracket, if we can hide the income in our IRAs or 401ks. So I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. I'd like to pay off the house.
How much do y'all make?
We make about $250,000 combined.
Okay, so you're pretty close to that. Here's the thing: pay the house off. Pay the house off.
Yeah.
Because you're holding a liability. Basically, you're trying to build a house on a teeter-totter. Okay?
Yep.
And you're holding a liability that's going to be constant, whether your income goes away suddenly, whether the market over 6 months drops 15 to 20%, which it has, right? So I love the idea of investing and dumping all this money into IRAs and stuff, but don't do it on a teeter-totter, right? On this on this liability. So, and I get her. What she's doing is math, right? She's just doing the math. And
It's
I think
not
I
good
can
math,
do this
but
versus
it's math.
Yeah, but it's. I'm paying 2% interest right now on our mortgage, and I think I can earn 8% on the market, and so I'm leaving 6% on the table. That math, I get that, but that's not how risk works, right?
Well, she doesn't want us to be put in a higher tax bracket, and I don't really know I really don't know what
Hold
it would
on.
be if we would.
What do you mean a higher tax bracket? How is paying off your mortgage going to put you in a higher tax bracket?
Well, if we use the money, if we hide our income in an IRA or
There's no hiding
You're
income.
not hiding income.
This
dude.
isn't a life hack.
Yeah, you're not hiding it. You're trying
Not
to find
necessarily
write-offs.
hiding it, but
Are you talking about writing off your mortgage
You're saying
interest?
that the interest deduction on your taxes from paying the mortgage, right?
yes, and not showing as much income through our because we pre-tax our contributions to our IRAs and 401ks.
Yeah, so you're not hiding money. They're not like, what? We thought you made $48,000 a year. We had no idea you made $250,000.
Gotcha.
It's not like that. It does affect the amount of taxable income you have, but you're not hiding it from anybody. I don't George, you may know. I don't know off the top of my head how that works with brackets.
Well, the brackets don't just make you pay that much more in taxes.
It's
all graded up.
Right.
So if you're $1,000 over into the next bracket, you're not now paying 27% on all of your income. You're only paying that 27% on the $1,000.
Right.
So it's not going to affect your life all that much. Now, let me talk about the tax deduction because this one really grinds my gears, John. Here's what happens.
Because we're in the 18th century.
Let's say you pay $10,000 in interest on your mortgage, right?
Yeah.
And now you get to deduct that. So you call that a huge win. Now, when it comes time to tax time, what that really amounts to is about $2,500 of tax burdens that you saved, right? You following me? Because you're not paying $10,000 less in taxes. The government just sees that you made $10,000 less in income. Therefore, it changes. So if you have 25% tax bracket, you're paying $2,500 on that money.
So basically, here's what he's saying. You send us $10,000.
To the lender.
And, no, to me and George, personally. And we guarantee you, because we love you, we're going to send you $2,500 in savings.
Okay.
See what we're doing there?
What it is you're trading a dollar for a quarter because you're going to send $10,000 to the lender in interest so that you can get $2,500 from the government in savings.
I would rather have send nothing to the mortgage and pay my $2,500 every year.
And also, you can only do that now if you're itemizing. It doesn't work with standard deduction. And also, if you have Roth, you can't deduct that either. And so you mentioned 401ks and IRAs. Roth is after tax, so you're not going to get that deducted.
Right.
So there's a lot of bad reasons to keep a mortgage, and there's very few good ones. And What's your
Right.
mortgage payment right now?
$850 a month.
Okay. So take that amount back into your budget every month. Do all the math on how much interest you're paying. Start to have a vision for what that future looks like. And I think your wife will go, okay, fine. Because if she wants to do math, hey, let's dance. But you're going to have to do the math back and go, that doesn't work. That's not how that works.
Right.
We're not hiding money. This isn't a life hack.
And if you pay that sucker off, it's like an $8,000 raise. Right, annually, just by paying your house off. Do y'all have the cash to pay it off?
We don't have like liquid right away. I mean, we probably have, we could probably pay half of it in liquid cash right now, but we just don't have enough to just boom take care of it.
Oh, you have that much liquid cash over and above your emergency fund, or that is your emergency fund?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Well, no, we've got an emergency fund, but we could take money in the bank and pay half the mortgage.
Gotcha. So
$40,000.
like George just walked you through the math part. I walked you through the risk and leverage part. Here's the most honest answer George and I can both give you. That when we fully funded our emergency funds, all the rest of that money went to our mortgages.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So I'm just telling you, like, what I do in my house, me and my wife and my kids do. And I can give you all the theories all day long and play math with you. I'm just telling you, here's what I do in my house, is I dump all of our extra money onto mortgage. And George just paid his off. And so that's just how we live our lives.
I like to keep those accounts separate too, because all of a sudden the emergency fund, you've got all this extra cash in there, and it gets a little bit squishy as to what this money's really for. So keep the emergency fund separate. You can have a separate account if you want to save up and throw that on the house. But I just did it out of every paycheck. Every time I got a paycheck, I went, great, this is all gravy. I'm throwing it at the mortgage. And we did it in 26 months, and I don't regret it, and I don't miss the tax deduction. I can tell you that much.
Okay.
Yeah, go be free, man. Go be free.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate you guys taking my call.
Absolutely, man.
And hey, when you tell your wife, tell her specifically George said she was wrong.
Oh, boy.
Not me. That was George.
Okay.
John is a saint. He can do no wrong.
Thanks, John.
No, I'm messing
America
with you.
loves John.
Okay.
Hey, thanks so much for the call, Fred. Appreciate you, man. Good stuff. So we got big news, John. Big news
What is
for
the big
America.
news? What is it?
You don't even know. No one tells John anything around here. We are super excited to announce
So true.
our team just launched some incredible updates to Financial Peace University.
I know that. You and I are in it.
Okay, hey, relax, man. I'm just reading the news.
I'm excited about it.
I'm just reading the news.
Just reading the news, man.
This is still the same timeless plan and principles we always teach, but now there's brand new content to help you stay in control of your money. And the two of us are extra excited because we are in the course now. We made it inside of the Matrix, John.
I know.
I looked at the cover today and I went, we did it, Mom. Can you believe it? I never thought. I mean, Financial Peace University is a thing that changed my life back in 2013. And so now to be a part of that, I'm pinching myself.
Bizarre,
just such an honor. So if you, John, I know you worked real hard on your talk for this in Why Spending. We co-taught this course and really brought a lot of fresh life to it. You with a lot of the psychology of spending, about how companies go after our brains.
Yeah.
And I kind of covered, here's how they're going after your wallet, thanks to how they're going after your brains. So it's a really, really strong course. Really proud of the work we did there. I also covered Baby Step 3 in the emergency fund and, try to bring some life to that, bring some jokes to it. I don't know if they're funny. They weren't in the crowd. So hopefully people watching at home think they're funnier. So here's the deal.
We laughed at you back behind stage.
I felt those laughters, John. Thank you. So here's the deal. If you're already a Ramsey Plus member, you can log in right now and check out that new content. And here's the better news. If you've never given Financial Peace University a shot, now's the time. You can get started at a special price of just $99 for 1 year of access to FPU and all of the extra perks inside of Ramsey Plus. Just go to fpu.com and check it out. Let us know what you think.
That's incredible. It's reverse inflation.
That's how that works.
Instead of getting more expensive, we put out something brand new and we lowered the price.
Blessed to be a blessing, John.
Pretty cool, man.
That's what we say around here.
I like that.
So check it out. Send John some hate mail. Send me all the love. FPU.com. We'll be back with you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career.
You're listening to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, Ramsey personality and host of the Fine Print and Entree Leadership Podcast, joined today by the host of the Dr. John Deloney Show. You guessed it. It's Dr. John Deloney himself.
And your best friend.
Yes, that too.
No.
We're trying to convince America that John likes me, and so this is his attempt.
No, I've been trying.
You invited me over your house already this hour.
I've tried to be your best friend multiple times.
Best friend.
Yeah.
Fine. You win, John.
We're in?
You win. Yep.
Yes.
We're best friends now.
This is huge.
It's that easy.
You want to go do karate in the garage?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, man. Then we're not best friends.
That was a movie reference for those of you wondering. John doesn't actually do karate in his garage.
I literally actually do karate in my garage.
Doesn't shock me.
It's a whole other conversation.
Well, this is about you, America, not about John and our friendship. So give us a call and make this stop. 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Mario, who's our new friend, he's in Houston. He's on the line. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, hi, guys. I have a family crisis and kind of a financial crisis as a result. I just broke up with my fiance, and she moved out.
Sorry to hear that.
Recently, I'm sorry, say again?
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you. We just recently built a new house that's $700,000, and it's got a $350,000 mortgage.
No.
Yeah. And if we sell right now, it's at least a $50,000 loss based on all the realtors. My thought is, if I buy her out, her portion, and take on the $350,000 mortgage, between myself and my mom, I have $350,000 in cash. Do I pay down some of that mortgage with that? Do I even do this? Do I even take this house so that we don't lose the $50,000?
It feels like there's some sunk cost fallacy happening
Dude,
here,
I would sell the house.
where you're hanging on to this thing, but it's going to be a curse more than it's going to be a blessing.
Mario, you're gonna mess up your relationship with your mom with the money. Everything changes when you owe your parent money, and you're going to have to figure out. You have to get with attorneys and figure out what's the buyout fee, and are we gonna get this all signed off? So I'm to pay. Dude, I would take the hit and sell the house, and don't buy a house with somebody that you're not married to moving forward. Just because it's so complicated to unwind it all. Is she?
Yeah.
Is her name on the lease, or I mean on the mortgage?
Yes.
And on the title?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to have to refinance this thing anyways. I don't know that the bank's going to allow you to refinance on your own. Can you afford this?
Yeah, I think it comes with $350,000. But what's your buyout going to be? $175,000?
Her buyout would be about $125,000.
How do you figure? Because you already have
that's how much she put in.
Oh, okay. All right.
And who's going to pay for the loss?
Yeah, that makes you solely responsible for the loss.
I would be fully responsible, and I'm willing to do that because I don't want her to lose the money. She's got less money to begin with, and I don't want her to have to take it on. I'm willing to live in the house for a year or two and sell it. At that point, the price would hopefully not go down on the value of the home. It's a new build. It's a brand new house. It's just that, right, and the actual base value of the house from the same builder has gone up in price, but because there are no recent sales. The realtors are telling me you're going to max out at $700,000 at best, and when you do that, you're paying them $50,000 for the sale, so it's a $50,000 loss at least. And I could cover the mortgage if I needed to. It'd be 50% of my pay.
Ouch.
As is.
Hey, listen, Mario.
Yeah.
You're trying to make this work, man. You've had a lot of loss. My guess is this breakup with the fiance has been some time coming, which means you've been living in chaos for a season. Is that fair?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, the other issue is that if I move out now, I'm having to find an apartment, and the apartment prices are fairly high as well. The cost of the apartment is going to be effectively the same, if maybe a little bit more, if I just was able to pay down the mortgage itself. My mom is living with me anyway.
Yeah.
So, and between us, we can cover at least a majority of the mortgage. And I'm not saying put everything in it, just because I need to have some money saved, maybe $100,000. So have $100,000 mortgage as a result.
So here's the thing: you've got a plan.
Yeah.
You've got a plan. You're clearly a smart guy. You got a plan, and so you're going to do what you're going to do. I'm telling you, if I was in your exact shoes, I'm from Houston. If I had woke up in Houston and I got engaged in Houston. So if me and the person who's my wife now, if we'd broken up, I would have sold the house and taken the hit and moved into an apartment, paid a lot of money, and unshackled myself from what was to begin planning for what will be. You are taking 50% of your take-home income, carrying your mom on a house note, on a prayer that the next 2 years, the economy pumps the house back up. I don't know if you've watched the news, but the next 2 years look like it's going to be a little bit of a rough ride. George, hop in here. I would not be looking for the next 24 months for things to just go through the roof. Now, I could be out to lunch on that, but I would take the hit and walk away. That's what I would do.
Now, if you moved to an apartment, mom would be with you, right?
Yeah.
And so you'd be splitting that rent. I think you can find a place that's not 50% of your pay with mom to rent for a while until we figure out what's next. Because it sounds like you don't need a house this big anyways.
I don't, but now we're going to a house, apartment, the third the size.
Hey, brother, that's ego.
Most of the situations and a mental thing. You know what I mean?
I know,
it
Mario,
feels
but
like you're going backwards.
It's ego. That's ego, man.
Yeah.
You're retooling. Because you had plans in your life, and those plans are different now. And there's a move in mixed martial arts that we used to practice, and that is sometimes you find yourself in a bad position up against the cage, up against the ropes, right? And you literally can't get out. You're stuck. And so we used to drill over and over how to ride the round out, because there is no offense happening here. You're curled up in a ball. You got somebody on top of you raining down punches. Here, I've got to finagle and take this for this season until the bell rings. I can get up and reset. That's where you are. You broke up with your fiance. You bought a $700,000 house with a girlfriend. It's already gonna cost you money to get out of it. It's gonna cost you half your life to stay in it. You just got to turtle up and say, okay, we're gonna go to an apartment. We're gonna retool, and then we're gonna take the next 24 months to figure out what comes next. And it feels like a step back. It's not, man. This is you protecting yourself and protecting your mom and protecting your future, and making wise decisions when things are crazy.
Yeah.
Have you talked to your mom about this?
Yeah.
What does she think? Just curious.
Well, she wants to be able to help me, and she thinks it's better just to pay down the mortgage, keep this house, and sell it later. I can always get a roommate, or not a roommate, but student or somebody to come in from my work that could be helping pay down some of the mortgage. And the problem is, she's had money in the bank from a home sale that hasn't been earning squat. And so...
Has she been saving for retirement, or is she retired?
Yeah, she's retired.
Are you her retirement plan?
Me, basically, yes.
You are her retirement plan?
Yeah.
Dude, don't sink what little cash she has left into this hole. Don't do that, man.
Yeah.
I know listen, I absolutely understand. Both George and I.
We're not trying to minimize this at all.
Dude, this is hard. This is hard. I hear it on you. It's hard, man. It's the reality of the situation.
I'm trying to make, I want my ex-fiancée to not have to be screwed either. That's the thing.
I got you. But hey, once the relationship is split, now this is a business transaction, because we made a business deal together. It felt like love at the time, but it was a business deal. And now that we're split, this is a business proposition. So it may be that she takes $25,000 of the $50,000 loss, or whenever it gets split out, you take what you put in, she takes what she put in, all that, right?
This was a decision you guys made together, which means all of the risk is on both of you. It's not just on you. So I don't want you to try to be a hero here and roll over and have it be a giant financial predicament. You're not being unkind by saying, hey, we're going to split the losses, because that's what we're doing in this relationship.
Or I'll take 60-40 here. I broke up with you. You still love me. We're going to sell this house. Whatever we got to do. And it may be that you go back and talk to the builder who's got somebody else lined up and they're about to put a shovel in the ground without a real estate agent, and you go to the builder and say, hey, my life just blew up. Do you have somebody else in line that'd be interested in this house? Because I don't want to lose $50,000. Maybe I can lose 25. Maybe I can lose 10. And maybe you can walk away that way. But if I'm you, brother, I'm selling the house.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, man.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel. To my right, Dr. John Deloney. You're listening to The Ramsey Show. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. Glenn joins us up next in Kansas City. Glenn, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for taking my call, George.
Happy to do it. What's going on?
Oh, you can label me tentative to retire.
I like that.
So I just need a third-party opinion. I work with a financial advisor, and
good.
I do way too much reading, but I just wanted to run through my scenario and see if you guys think, do I need to keep working in this economy, or can I pull the plug at 59 and a half?
Okay. But just make sure you pull the right plug.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not the life support plug.
Yes. Good. Keep that. You want that one in the wall, brother.
That's right.
So hit us with the numbers.
Okay. So I'm about 80% tax deferred, 20% Roth. I've got, by the time I retire, I imagine I'll have about $1.5 million. And of that 1.5, I'd have about 90,000 cash. I planned on waiting to collect Social Security till I'm 70. My wife is going to continue to work until I'm 62. So then, so I was going to try to spend down cash in the first couple of years and then work on the tax deferred money and try to stay under 80,000 a year total tax commitment.
Okay.
Or total income.
So you're going, am I ready to do this? When's your plan to do this, to actually retire currently?
13 months, 3 days, 36 minutes, something like that.
Wow.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a power plant manager.
Okay.
Cool. So what's your current income?
About 150.
All right. And you're not looking to replace all of that 150 in retirement?
No, right now I only come home with about half of my income. I put quite a bit into my Roth and savings account, so I could live off 80.
And you'd be happy, because that's really what it comes down to, is what's your picture of retirement, and do the numbers match up to that picture?
Okay, I'm speaking for myself. I'd be happy. I don't know if my wife would be happy.
What does she think about all this? Does it make her nervous for you to quit working?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why she wants to keep working. She works remote, and we want to relocate. So I have no interest in paying down my mortgage. I always overpay, but I'm going to take the equity out of this home and put it in another home where we relocate. But yes, she's nervous.
Here's a couple of things that I would do if I'm in your shoes, and I'll let George. Obviously, he's way smarter with the numbers side. Before I quit, before I retired, is a nicer way to say that. I would take my wife on a retreat of some sort, go out for a day or two, and literally spend a couple of hours being highly intentional about telling old stories. What are some things in our marriage that we loved, some of the adventures we've had, our kids, some of the stuff we've been great. I talk about some stuff that's been hard, and then I would shift the conversation, and this might take half a day, and I would talk to her about this before you do it, and you spend some time by yourself and her some time by herself. What do we imagine the next potentially 40 years to be like? We often think like, oh, I'm gonna retire at 60, and you might be 40 years, my man. Okay, 30 years. What do we want that to look like? To George's point, if you both don't have a unified picture of what retirement looks like or the next phase of your life is going to look like, you're going to run into a brick wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to blame that crash on money. We're going to blame that crash on my wife. She's going to blame that on my husband. It's just sitting around the house. But all of that is tied into we were not unified in where we were headed when we started off on this new journey. The second thing that's important is you need to know the research on people who just up and retire is not great. They fall apart. And so you've done the math. What I want you to begin to consider is, man, maybe you're done at 60 managing a power plant. We want to get out of this town. We want to get out of the state. We want to go somewhere different, somewhere hotter, somewhere cooler, whatever. We're going to buy a new house. I want you to imagine, it doesn't have to be a job, but I'm going to volunteer I'm going to get really involved in local whatever. I am going to start bagging groceries. I want you to have a thing that you go to, not that you go from. Just the data on it the data has convinced me that retirement is no longer a thing I'm interested in. Spending money and building wealth, those are things I'm all excited about, but not having something that I get up and go to every day is something I'm no longer interested in, solely based on the psychological data. Okay, so that's where I would tell you when you're having the conversation, should I retire? And then the number comes in here, George, with actual data.
Yeah. So Glenn, you said you'd have about $1.5 million in 13 months.
Yeah.
And that's if the market bounces back?
No, that's taking in the losses that I expect.
Okay.
Dude, you really want out of this thing, huh?
Well, she just wants me to be happy, and I do have a strategy, an exit strategy, and it's going to be working with my kids. So both my kids live in another state, and I really enjoy doing things for them. So I think that's what's really going to make me happy. So I'm not worried about myself.
Okay.
I think my wife is worried about getting her nails done and getting her hair done. And I'm a pretty tight individual when it comes to spending money.
And your wife is saying, I don't want my life to suck for the next 30 years because Glenn retired too early.
Because Glenn didn't want to work, right?
Exactly.
So we got to take that into account.
Don't be dismissive of that, okay? I know it can be annoying. Like, you mean I got to work so you can get? Yes, that's exactly what that means, because y'all are a team, right? So let's have that conversation.
So,
Yes.
Glenn, you've heard of the Trinity study?
No,
You said you read a lot, so I figured. But basically,
I've never heard of it.
The study shows that a
Father,
safe
Son, Holy
withdrawal
Ghost.
rate, if you take out 4% from your nest egg every year, then the money will not run out. It will continue to, outpace. If the market's at 8, 10, 12%, you will continue to have your principal amount in there, which means when you croak, you'd still have $1.5 million, ideally.
right.
And so I would start to look at
4%
that
rule.
with your financial advisor.
So we've done cash flow thing, and the 4% rule is not really something. I guess I've looked at it that way, but every online calculator shows that there's no way you can retire. So that's what I keep seeing. So, but he says I'm good to go. But I guess
The financial advisor says, yeah, your plan checks out.
Yeah.
And that's if you're withdrawing what, $70,000 a year into retirement?
No, that was an extra. That was like at a 120.
Wow, that feels high.
That was then that's kind of why but that was covering insurance and other things too.
Okay.
And since I don't have to, I back it back down. But
that's just a larger percentage of the 1.5 million. You're looking more like 8% withdrawal rate at that point.
Exactly.
Which then you go, that money's going to run out then, in the next few decades. And so just take that into account. I would still run the numbers. You mentioned waiting to take Social Security. You might be better off taking it sooner and investing that money. And so I'd still run some numbers. I'm going to give you some homework there to work out with your financial advisor. I'm not saying you can't do it. I just want you to get a real clear picture of what your lifestyle is going to look like in retirement, where you guys want to go. And I'd also encourage you to go into retirement without a mortgage payment. You mentioned that you're hanging on to the mortgage. You're paying a little bit extra. I want that thing to be gone before Glenn says, I'm done working. I think that'll give your wife some peace of mind as well.
Yeah, the fewer liabilities you take into a no-work season of your life, the better. And even if you think, well, I can invest this, the difference between my 3% mortgage and I get all that. But we're just talking about risk and liability. And when you look at your wife and say, we owe nobody anything. Right. And here's what we're going to do. That's a different conversation. I'm just talking about neurological safety, brain safety.
Changes the way you make
decisions. Your brain
decisions.
goes, whew, okay. So if the worst case scenario happens, we're still sitting in the same house because we own it. It's ours, right? And we just got to scrounge up enough nickels to pay the taxes every year on it. That's different than, no, we're going to be homeless. Right?
What's left on the mortgage, Glenn?
About $280.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be taking that when I retire in 13 months and still have payments on $280,000 worth of loans. So I'd also look into getting rid of that or downsizing, pay cash for your next place, and then I'll feel real good about this retirement plan.
Let's have a conversation as a couple. What do we want this thing to look like? To make it a 2-day retreat, enjoy one another, have a good time, but let's get some real concrete pictures.
Absolutely. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to being well. I'm George Campbell, your host, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, and we are pumped to take your call, America. The number is 888-825-5225.
We're pumped.
Pumped. I don't use that word enough, John.
You got to bring that back.
It's time.
Hans and Franz, we're going to pump you up. We're ready.
I'm also from Boston, so sometimes I'll slip in wicked. It's wicked sick. P.S. Go Celtics.
Go Celtics.
I watched the game for like 4 minutes, and I feel like I'm a fan now.
You're back on the wagon?
I'm back on it, man. Back in it. People love to talk to me about sports. So don't call in and talk about sports. We're here to help you with money, with your mental health, your relationships, boundaries, your life. That we have some expertise in.
And we're pumped.
And we are pumped to take the call. Marquita kicks us off in Charlotte, North Carolina. Marquita, welcome to the show.
Hi, George and John. How are you guys doing today?
We're so great. We're pumped to be with you. What's going on?
I'm pumped to be with you guys. Okay, so my name's Marquita. I'm 24 years old, and I'm calling because I'm going to need a new car soon. And by new car, I don't mean like a new car. I mean like just new to me. I'm going to need one soon because the car that I drive now, it's a 2017 Honda Accord with about 62,000 miles on it or so. The problem is the car belongs to my dad. The title's in his name, and he paid it off last year. And he drives a 2005 Chevy Tahoe with probably like 300,000 miles on it. So that car is on like its last legs. And so he told me he doesn't think it's going to make it till the end of the year, really. So I really need to try to find my own wheels because, I kind of feel like I need to give this car back to him since his car is
okay, you're saying you feel like you need to. Has he said, hey, I want the Accord back?
Not directly, no.
And are you – so this is paid off, you said. So you don't have any financial interest in this car currently, right? He's just kind of let you have it?
Yeah, so this car has been with me through college and everything. So he was paying for it and everything, but I was paying for, of course, any type of maintenance or gas and stuff like that and registration inspections. I was paying for all of that kind of stuff, but as far as car payments and insurance, he was taking care of the car, my mom was taking care of insurance.
So the question is, was this car a gift? Is it technically your car?
I feel like this was more like a loaner car until I got settled on my feet and could afford my own
There's a lot of feelings here.
You
what has
have
he
a
actually
lot of
said?
Feelings, Marquita.
I feel like, what has he actually said? to you?
There's been a lot of subliminal messaging as far as like, okay, Marissa, like, you got a full-time job now, so it's like, you probably want to come on now. You probably, have you thought about getting a car?
Marquita, that's super not subliminal. It's pretty direct. Pretty direct. How old are you again?
I'm 24. So
and what do you do for a living?
My big thing is, I work for the state. I work for the state of North Carolina.
Okay. And do they pay you enough to get a car?
Absolutely not. No, I have multiple streams of income from other forms of employment. So yeah, I'm definitely not trying to go into debt with getting a car because I'm almost done with baby step 2. I got probably the end of the year and then I'm out. So I'm not trying to go into any more debt. However, I've been looking around for little beater cars and I'm just like,
no, take your dad's Tahoe. Trade him straight up.
Trade him for the Tahoe?
I would trade him back.
That's a great move.
And I'd keep the Tahoe. And actually, here's what I would do. If I'm you, I would give him $350 and say, Dad, I'd like to buy the Tahoe from you. And he's going to say, oh, it's a piece of junk. It's whatever. Say, I know. But this Accord is yours. I'm going to buy it for $350 and it's going to be mine. And then you can take it down to the courthouse and get the title. And that will buy you another year or two.
Okay.
Okay. And then you can give him his car back. You can stop with the and listen, from this point forward, remember this phrase, clear is kind. When somebody gives you something and you're like, I don't know if is this a gift or is this right? Be very clear. Let that be a part of your language and a part of your spirit moving forward. When you're dating somebody and they're like, it's like, do you not want to go or do you want to go? Like, be clear, right? And your life will be infinitely easier if you do that.
Yeah.
Marquita, what's your income?
It's about, take home was about $38,000 or so per year.
Okay. How much debt do you have left?
I have about $7,000 or so. I'm got $5,000 left on the student loan, about $2,200 in medical. But I started out way more with student loans, so I've been paying this off since the pandemic started when I graduated from college.
Way to go! That's fantastic.
What do you do for the state?
I'm a clerk at a courthouse.
Okay, you have a law degree?
No, I might be pursuing that one day, but right now I got to pay off this undergrad debt before I can go to law school.
Good. Hey, I want you to become an attorney because I want attorneys like you out in the world, okay, with that sense of responsibility. That's fantastic. Listen, you're getting way, way underpaid. I could tell by talking to you, you're too smart, and you have too much charisma. You bring too much to the table to make $38,000 a year. I don't say that to people who make $38,000. I'm not saying they don't have those things. I'm saying you are worth more than you're being paid. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
So I would get on the ball. I want you making $50,000 by the end of the summer. I'm dead serious. Okay?
Okay.
Make it happen. Just get on the phone and start calling people. You're a clerk. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, it's a buyer's market for law schools. You'll get in. If you had good undergraduate grades, you'll get into law school. You don't need to be a clerk just to get into law school. And go get out of debt, save up for law school, and then go do that.
Okay.
Is that cool?
Thank you, John. I appreciate you guys.
Cruise the city in this dope 300,000-mile old Tahoe.
That Tahoe has been through some things, okay? 2005 was when I was in kindergarten, okay? So I'm 24 now. That Tahoe has
Hey, call it vintage. That makes it cooler these days.
That's exactly right.
That's it. You just drive a vintage car.
Yes, and someone's going to door ding it, and your first response is going to be laughter, not rage, right? So you're going to be good to go.
Way to go, Marquita. Hey, call us back when you're debt free.
It lifted a huge weight off my shoulders. Thank you, guys.
Wow. That was worth my Friday just to do that for Marquita, John. And I'll tell you, that is a true statement. When I drove, I had an 09 Honda Civic up until about a few months ago, and I love so we had a storm come through Nashville. And a piece fell off of my house onto my hood of my car, and I was like, "Well, that just added a little more personality."
I drive an old truck, and I'll never forget. I was in a parking lot. It was in Texas. It was 11,000 degrees out. It was hot, and I was checking something on my phone before I got out, and a mother pulls in with 2 kids in the back, and getting 2 kids out of car seats is just a nightmare. And she got one out, and that kid was just a rascal, you could tell. And then she was getting the other one out, and he just kicks the door, and it swings open and hits my truck. And the first response my body gave to the world was, I just died laughing. Yeah, I was like, oh man. And I saw her. She looked at that, and then we made eye contact, and I was like, no, that's why I drive this car, because I could care less, and I just have a lot less. I have no angst in my life about it, right? It just is what it is.
That is an underrated piece of driving a clunker, is that there's no anxiety.
I got none.
about taking care, making sure it doesn't. My new car already has a scrape on it, John, and it gave me deep anxiety.
That was my bad. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, I scraped it on my little tiny townhome garage. Barely fits this boat of a car. What am I doing, man?
What? I know. It's not a big car.
I know.
It's an even smaller garage.
No, just blame my bad driving, John. Why don't you just go do that? That's fine.
You're a bad driver.
Hey, we got more of the show coming up. Give us a call, 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show.
Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by best-selling author, #1 best-selling author, I may add, Dr. John Deloney. Own Your Past, Change Your Future, launched earlier this year. John, you're still recovering from the book tour and the chaos.
Yeah,
Man.
I thought all week it was Tuesday, and it is not.
It is Friday, John.
I'm figuring it out.
The year's 2022. Who is the president? Do I need to, test you here to make sure you're still with us?
Barely.
Reagan.
Yeah,
Final
Reagan.
answer.
Ronald Reagan.
Here we go.
But no, second term, George W. It's been a wild ride, man.
Yeah, well, the feedback's been amazing. I love seeing it. You repost it on your Instagram. People are starting to really connect with the book. And
yeah, it's pretty wild. It's got a new second life to it, which has been really neat.
It's awesome. As the friends tell their friends, you got to read this book.
That's right, yeah.
That's the only way I read
the greatest. That's the greatest. Emmitt Smith was one of the greatest running backs ever, but he had the greatest offensive line ever, right? So when Dave Ramsey's out blocking for you, you're going to get off the line. But it's when 2 months down the road when people start saying, hey, you got to read this, and they buy 2 copies for their 2 friends, and then that's when you know,
that ripple effect starts to happen.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's pretty neat.
Well, proud of you, man.
Thanks, dude.
All right, let's go to the phones. Lynn joins us up next in Jacksonville, Florida. Lynn, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. What's going on with you?
So I have a little bit of a situation with one of my in-laws. They have some pretty poor money habits. I'm actually on baby step 2 myself, and so I'm having to unlearn some of my own behaviors when it comes to money. But my in-laws kind of have this habit of not budgeting their money, not spending their money wisely, and then occasionally they will have these instances where they don't have enough money for their necessities, and they reach out to family members asking for their support. And for the longest time, I was somewhat enabling this behavior, and I would give them the money and everything like that. And I tried to set some boundaries, and for a little while it was working, but now it's kind of fallen back into those old patterns. And so my question to you is how can I help them without enabling them, and also, lay those boundaries and because it's just becoming an issue. And I'm feeling some negative emotion towards them because of this, and being put in this unfair position of trying to get my debt and my money sorted out, and then also having to take care of some adults.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a question before we get into the in-laws? How is this your husband's parents?
Yes, my husband's side.
So how is he in this conversation?
He is upset about it. The strange thing is that the in-laws have learned to approach me and not him.
Oh, so this is 95% of the time. This isn't an in-law issue; it's a spouse issue. But you're the problem spouse, not him.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay, so this is a way simpler conversation. Way simpler. What do you get out of giving them money? Because you get something. What is it?
I feel like I'm helping them because they also have children in the situation. And so for me, it makes me feel like I'm helping them and making sure that, they're taken care of.
So beneath that, because you know that by giving them money, you know intellectually that you're not helping them anymore. You're enabling.
Yeah.
And so you're getting something beneath the help. What is it?
Honestly, at this point, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it, and that's why I'm so upset about it. But beforehand, when I was enabling this behavior, before I kind of wised up a little bit, it was, the validation of I'm helping, I'm feeling like a good person, things like that.
Yes. And so anytime we go searching for external validation, it always ends up in a mess, every time. And some people, it takes 25, 35, 45 years to figure that out. You were lucky that it happened to you early on, right?
Yeah.
So I wish, George, you hop in here. I wish I had a more complicated answer. But really, it's you and your husband sitting down and coming up with, here's our boundaries. This is what we will do. And this, by definition, is going to define what we don't do. And then we're going to make that very, very clear. And then I'm going about my day. Because my in-laws, my personal in-laws, who I love, who've never asked me for a dime, they don't get a vote. And my parents don't either. And your in-laws do not get a vote from this point forward. And anything beyond that is you needing to wrestle with you, not them. You hear what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, Lynn, if I'm in your shoes, here's what I'm doing. I'm going to have my husband have a conversation with them and say, listen, we love you guys. We want the best for you financially. We want to see you win. We can no longer help you financially, but we are going to continue to help you. And here's how we're going to help. We're going to help you set up a budget. We're going to help you figure out where your money's going. We're going to help you get your income up and cut your expenses. And they may not want that help because it's the help they need. It's not the help they want, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And here's what you're going to do. You're going to define what type of help you're going to give. Like Georgia said, we will help you. We'll buy you Total Money Makeover. In fact, we'll send you a copy that you can hand to them, okay? We will help you with a budget. We'll help you every month. But that's the help we're going to get. And if they throw a fit and they walk away, they are choosing to not accept your help. And chasing them around trying to come up with a help that they will receive, which is usually cash, is not help. That is you trying to find some external validation that, by the way, you don't need. You're pretty awesome, right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And we all want our in-laws to like us, all right? We all want that. That may not be in the cards for you because it sounds like that your in-laws are really struggling or they're immature or they've got addiction challenges they're working through. Who knows what's going on in their life. But for this season, it may not be you had this picture in your head, I'm going to get married and my mother-in-law and I are going to be close. My father-in-law is going to be like my second dad. That may not be the picture. And so you and your husband, you sit down and grieve that because it's not reality. You hear what I'm saying? It doesn't look like you thought it was going to look. And then we're just going to make some very clear boundaries. I'm not giving them any money. It's not. Right? I'll help coach you along, but I'm not going to keep throwing money into a bottomless pit.
Lynn, hang on the line. We're going to send you a copy of the Total Money Makeover. I'm also going to gift you 1 year of Ramsey Plus. That might be something you guys do together. That could be cool. Just watching all the videos in Financial Peace University. That includes every dollar premium, so you can help them set up that budget. I think that's going to be a really cool gift. And the more buy-in they see from you guys wanting to help them, maybe it could cause them to go, wow, these people really care. Like, we should actually do this stuff. They're really, putting their butts in the line, their time, their resources into helping us. Let's just do it. What's the worst that can happen? We're not going to get more broke.
And here's the deal. I've heard the conversation about kids quite regularly. the best rescuing, quote unquote, you can do for somebody who's not providing for their children, somebody who's abusing their children, or somebody who's neglecting their children, is to call the proper authorities in your community. And you're going to be made the bad guy, and oh my gosh, you're the worst, and all that kind of stuff that happens. But you just giving money to mom and dad is not filtering down and supporting and taking care of those kids. It's not. They've got to change this thing from the inside out.
Yeah. Hang on the line. Austin will pick up. We'll get you those resources for you. All right, we are back on the road, John. It's been fun doing some of these events, Orlando, Vegas.
I had a good time, man.
Good
Those
times.
are fun.
It's fun just being around real people and connecting and hearing their stories. It's inspiring to me, and I'm excited because we are heading to your home state, Texas, to Dallas, October 22nd. It's a full day on a Saturday. Smart Conference is back. It's been 3 years since we've done this. This is all your favorite speakers on stage, empowering you with tools and principles that will create unstoppable momentum in your life. This is not another pep talk. This is thousands of people coming together under one roof to learn how to build wealth, how to achieve their goals, strengthen relationships, get their careers in order, and so much more. And you're not just going to learn, you're going to have a good time too. Smart Conference is known as one of our most fun, entertaining events. All of our Ramsey personalities will be there, Dave included, and some special guests. Craig and Amy Grishel from Life Church will be there as well. The event passes start at just $39. I'm telling you, this is like an 8 to 5 event. I mean, just going to the movies right now is $20.
My wife just texted we were going to surprise
$20.
the kids and all go tonight. It was going to be $68.
Nope.
For us to go see a movie tonight.
Hard pass, unless it's Top Gun. Worth it.
Super hard pass.
So.
That's why you're wearing a leather jacket.
That's right. I feel like I'm Tom Cruise. Not going to lie.
You are Tom Cruise.
$39, folks. Go get your passes. We'd love to see you in Dallas, Texas. Do it before they sell out because tickets are moving. People are ready to get out of the house and go to events again. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events to learn more, and we will see you in Dallas, Texas on October 22nd. More of The Ramsey Show coming up.
If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com.
We're back, America. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined by Dr. John Deloney today. And in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage, Jesse is with us. How's it going, man?
Good. It's all right.
Where are you from?
Outside of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Wonderful. And you made the trip all the way here to Nashville, Tennessee to do your debt-free screen.
Right, yep.
Very
How
exciting.
far is that trip?
About 1,500 miles.
Wow.
That's a long walk, man. I'm glad that you made it. Good to see you, man.
So, tell us, how much did you pay off?
I paid off $65,900.
Wow.
How long did that take?
About 42 months.
Nice. And what was your range of income during that time?
From $52,000 to $61,000.
Nice, man. What do you do for a living?
I work as a civil engineer for the state of South Dakota.
Fantastic. Engineers. That is the number one millionaire career. Did you know that, Jesse?
Yeah.
And you're well on your way now that you're debt-free, man. That's awesome. Yeah. So what type of debt was the $65,900?
It was credit card, car and student loans.
You're living that normal life, man.
Right.
Living La Vida Broca, as John likes to call it.
Gosh.
Only
I'm
John
sorry
says
that you had to be in proximity to that joke.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, take us back, Jesse. 42 months ago, you decided, you know what? These payments aren't so fun anymore. What happened?
It's kind of a variety of reasons. So it's kind of when I was a teenager, I got a call from a debt collector. I didn't have any debt or a bank account at the time. Another one was a breakup, and then the second one was my grandfather was not very good with money.
So that kind of gave you fuel to go, that's not going to be me. My story's going to be different.
Tell me about this breakup. What happened?
This kind of a mutual thing, but it was kind of, she was kind of teaching an FPU class at the time, and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to go. And so I was like, I'm going to go on a trip to Michigan, and then so a couple of months later, kind of mutual broke up.
How did you get connected with our crazy crew?
It was kind of funny. My cousin had a wedding in Upper Michigan, and so had an 11-hour trip from there to Mitchell's back to South Dakota. So when I got out of Minneapolis, it was late at night, so skimming through the channels, and I was like, and then came across the Ramsey channel. I was like, well, I guess I'll listen to it for a little bit, and they were talking about how the people didn't have to take out student loans to get into college, and I was like, well, I guess I could have done that. I was like, I know there was scholarships in my high school, so I was like, well, okay, I'll keep listening more. And I'm kind of slightly jealous.
Hindsight's 2020.
Then you went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And
you went, I think I can do this stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So you had a moment that was like the earth-shattering moment. Like, today, I'm going to commit to being different. Tell us about that day.
I just remember going to the bathroom and saying, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and just looked at the guy in the mirror and said, it's time to go.
Man,
that's hard to do.
Moving.
That's hard to do and go, that guy's the problem and that guy's the solution. Good news and bad news.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was the hardest part on this journey, getting out of debt?
I think saying no, and then also kind of maintain a grocery budget. I kind of like to eat a lot. So it's like, ooh, food. Oh, that's right. Gotta eat rice and beans. Okay.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So did people think you were crazy for doing this stuff? Did you have cheerleaders along the way? What was the consensus?
It has a lot of cheerleaders, a lot of challengers. I would say, my FPU coordinator, Nancy, my parents, my boss, Jeff, Tyler and Amber, Teresa, and my coworker, Thomas.
Man, you had a whole crew supporting you.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference, having people in your corner cheering you on when things are hard.
Well, take us back to a time. What was the hardest? There was a night that's just the dark night of the soul. What am I doing? I'm missing out on this. I'm not able to do that. If I eat another bean, literally, I'm going to spontaneously combust.
No more legumes.
No more legumes. Hey, take us back to that moment, and you powered through.
I think the hardest one, in April 2020, got it in a car crash. The guy came 30 miles an hour, hit my car, T-bone, kind of spun the car. So I was kind of mind boggled a little bit. It was like, okay, we'll see what the claims and do, and kind of work it out. And but eventually the insurance came back around. They said they valued the car at $13,000. Then the current loan I had at the time was $10,000. So when they paid it off, it's like, well, is this kind of unusual? We have money left over for you. We'll send you a check.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you're doing okay? Everything's good health-wise?
Yeah, it's good. Yep.
Wow.
All I got was a bruise right here, so got a little nice yellow spot, kind of went away.
Man. Yeah, well, that's definitely a bump in the journey, to say the least.
Right.
So how does it feel to be completely debt-free, paying off almost $66,000 in 42 months?
Oh, it's great. I feel like I have options for the future, and I don't have to go okay, I gotta save money for my past mistake, for my past me, but now I can save money for future me.
Amen.
Yeah.
Man, well, we're so proud of you. So what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
I think the first quote comes to mind was there was a quote a while back when I started. It was that discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments.
Ooh, that's
So,
good.
I think a lot of self-discipline, just perseverance, and just kind of working out the details. And
Yeah, man. It changed so much more than your money. It changes you.
right.
And that's huge. And now there's nothing you can't tackle. Now that you've built that discipline in one area, you go, I could do that over here and over here and over here in my career and my physical health. And it's inspiring. We're proud of you, man. You ready to do this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got a copy of Dave's #1 best-selling book, Baby Steps Millionaires. That is absolutely the next chapter in your story. We're also going to give you a copy of the Total Money Makeover to inspire someone else's debt-free journey along the way. And on top of that, we're going to give you a gift card for 1 year of Ramsey Plus, which includes all the videos in Financial Peace University, Every Dollar Premium, a budgeting tool, so you can hand this to someone or experience it for yourself and keep you motivated along the journey.
All right, thanks.
Awesome, man. All right, let's get to it. It's Jesse from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. $65,900 paid off in 42 months, making $52,000 all the way up to $61,000. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
Uno, dos, tres.
I'm debt-free!
Yes! 1,000% yes. Amazing.
Dude, he brought up the metalcore on that one. I loved it.
That was visceral.
Yes.
I felt that in my triceps.
You don't have triceps.
Okay,
But yeah, you
fair
felt
point.
that, I know. That was incredible, man.
Wow. Way to go, Jesse. So proud of you, man. Good stuff.
Is it
there.
bad that I'm kind of biased towards a rip roaring? Sometimes people go through a debt-free scream. Everyone's great. Everyone's got their story, and everyone's personality is different. Sometimes they have this great story. Like, I did it. I persevered. I came through. I'm debt-free. And I always think, come
100%.
on.
Low key, I'm pretty sure the booth rates the debt-free screams behind the scenes
I didn't
for
know
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And
They're
that
drinking
was,
the Haterade back there, too.
That was a 10 out of 10 from
That's
the
a
booth.
judge. 10
They're
out of
holding
10.
up the
They're all
cards.
holding up the cards. They say 10 out of 10.
That's amazing.
The Jesse shows up here and brings the thunder all
That was
the way
intense.
from South Dakota.
He's got some pipes.
Yeah, he does.
He's definitely in a metalcore band on the side.
That's exactly right.
And you've been to a lot of those shows, John, so
I
you
do
would
like
know.
those shows.
That's amazing.
When you, just as a reminder, I know you've talked about this a lot, George. Tell the audience what it feels like when you owe nobody anything.
It feels like you're just on a cloud. You just feel lighter, like physically lighter.
Like, when you say that,
You walk differently.
I'm like, all right, that sounds like okay. That's cute. Like, you literally walk lighter.
There's a new level of confidence when I walk around. I wear leather jackets now, John, because I don't have a mortgage.
Which makes me want to hang on to my mortgage a little bit longer.
You'll get there.
I'll get there.
You'll get there.
That's fair.
But you just kind of walk around, and every paycheck that comes in, you get to decide what happens to every dollar. So you're in control. You have options. You've got freedom. You have margin. And you make decisions differently based on all of those things. So we see an opportunity where we can bless someone. We go, let's do it.
Yeah.
It's not a conversation. We don't have to save up. You just go, yeah, absolutely. Let's go out to eat. It changes everything. So if you're not debt free, highly recommend it. And you can do it. Jesse did it. And we're rooting for all of you.
Jesse brought it from his guts.
Who are on the journey with you. Yes, thank you so much. More of The Ramsey Show coming up. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Campbell, joined today by Dr. John Deloney, and we are taking your calls, and we are pumped to take them, aren't we, John? That's right.
We are pumped.
888-825-5225.
We're like an 80s
We're nothing like that.
basketball team.
Sure. That's what people think when they see us, John.
No, they don't think that, but they do when they hear us say, I'm so pumped. Do you use that word in your regular language?
Yeah. That's hip.
Like your wife's like, hey, let's go out tonight. You're like, I'm pumped.
No, I don't use that term with my wife. It's with the bros. You know? Me and James were hanging out on the weekends.
And he's like, hey, you want to play our Fenders and listen to some
sad... The joke was James has never hung out with me.
I know,
so.
he doesn't do that. But
it's fine.
I'm going to play some Fenders and listen to some sad songs, and you're like, I'm pumped.
That's
how
like
that goes?
Yep. Well, Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com.
Well, that was
You like that transition?
A subtle turn there.
You like that?
Somebody's a radio pro.
Their 100% satisfaction guarantee means even if you mismeasure, which John is prone to do, or you pick the wrong color, which I am prone to do, they will remake your blinds for free. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. And you know I love a good deal, so use the promo code Ramsey to get the best deal.
All right, today's question comes from Katie in Texas. Katie writes, my spouse and I are newlyweds and debt-free. He works in construction. However, he finds every excuse he can not to work. At the beginning of the pandemic, new construction was briefly suspended, but when he was given the choice to return, he chose not to and remained off the job for more than 3 months. We both had COVID last year, and he stayed off work for 2 months because he had lingering fatigue. He recently got sick again with a seasonal cold, but he still hasn't returned to work. He says he chose this career so he can stockpile money and stop working when he feels like it, but his lack of vision disturbs me. The money he stockpiles will run out, and he's not saving for our future. He's saving for his leisure time. How do I start a discussion with him about his lack of motivation to work? Okay, a couple things here. Number one, Katie, you're conflating a lot. And I'm reading between the lines here, but you don't believe that he's actually sick. And you don't believe that he's actually tired. You believe that he's lazy. That's how you wrote this. If he's got long COVID, if he's still struggling with stuff, he needs to go to a doctor and begin the process of getting healed, getting well, right? And for some folks, it's a mess of a journey. For others, it's a matter of changing some things and getting the right medications that they need to go get well. So that's number one. So let's move this over and let's assume he doesn't have tragic long COVID here, which I've heard about. Okay, let's move that over. Let's suggest that you got a husband that's just lazy. He doesn't want to work. He's got some scam figured out where he can work 2 days out of a month and make enough money to slide by and keep his Halo subscription going. This is a hard conversation to have. And it does not start with you're lazy or you never work. It starts with I'm scared. I'm scared about my future. I'm scared about our future. I'm scared about what's next for us. And your lack of leadership, your lack of getting on the same page with me makes me feel completely exposed. I'm not sleeping. I'm not able to go about having joy in my life because you are not a part of what we're doing here. And that is a radically different conversation. Fewer people respond more viscerally to that conversation. There are out there idiots like, I'm just being me, bro. That's a whole other, that's a left turn here. But most people, when you come at them with, you need to sell the truck, or you need to fix this, or you got to get off your butt, they go into fight or flight, they shut down, the conversation's over. But when you sit down and make it about you, I'm scared. I'm not okay because you're not in this with me.
Yeah.
That's a different path forward.
Well, and these are newlyweds. And I go, man, this should be like an exciting time.
Yeah.
You're having fun, and this doesn't sound fun. It doesn't sound like there's a lot of excitement.
Unless he feels like I got my meal ticket, right? I married a steady paycheck, and now I can just sit at home.
Yeah, I mean, they're debt-free, which is good, but I still can't imagine that you can just not work for a few months and be okay financially. So now this was a line that got me, John. He says he chose this career so he can stockpile money. I don't choose a career for that reason. It's a terrible reason to choose. So I'm going, he needs to find work he actually enjoys because it's clearly not construction.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't like construction. He
chose it because he thought it's easy money, which if you've been in construction, it's not easy money,
but you can work on a job site for 4 days and get paid
and take a few weeks
pay
off.
You that week, take a few weeks off, which is a terrible way to do life because there's going to come a moment when that 4-day workday doesn't exist, a 4-day work week doesn't exist, and then you're broke, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy hasn't shown up for his life. You know what I mean? He's got no interest in his life. Yeah.
Beyond the not going to work, he's not engaged in life.
Yeah, he's
in this marriage.
Unplugged. He's a child.
And to your point, she needs to go, hey, I don't feel good about this. I feel unsafe. I want you to be excited about our future.
Yes.
And that means caring about goals, caring about how we're going to get there.
Caring about yourself.
Yes.
Right? Looking in the mirror and saying, I'm worth a life better than a couple of days slinging bricks at a site and then staying home for the next 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
That's a totally different thing. And if you're sick, if you actually are not okay, sometimes guys like to flex and be like, "No, it's cool, bro. I just want to sit at home." If you're not okay, go to the doctor. You know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
get the help you need. Go see a counselor. Get the help that you need to show up for yourself and for your wife, man. Life's too short, dude. Life's too short.
Agreed. Thanks for the question.
Thanks, Katie.
Terry joins us up next in Austin. Terry, welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
Great. How can we help?
Tell me how to get myself out of this giant hole that I've dug.
Describe the hole.
Well, I've been looking over the numbers, and I'm showing I'm right at $37,500 in credit card debt. If I add credit cards, my car, and then if I add student loans, that adds about $45,000 to it.
It adds 45. So what's the total amount of debt?
Yes, student loans and credit cards, right under 80,000, like 77,000.
Okay. What's your income?
Right now, it's about 45,000, 40 to 45,000 a year.
Okay. What's the car worth?
I just got the car a couple months ago. So honestly, I could probably sell it for maybe $3,000 less than I paid for it.
How much would that be?
I show right at $30,000.
Sell it.
Sell it today.
Immediately. Today. This weekend. Gone.
Well, the issue I have is
no issues.
I only bought...
No issues. Just sell it. Just sell it. Just sell it.
It's my source of income, though.
Your car is your source of income?
Yes.
Describe that.
So I was working DoorDash full-time, making about $1,500 a week.
Okay.
And then the car that I had, which was paid off in my name, I blew a hole in the block. And I went a month without being able to get work or do anything because I lived in the 20 miles from town. So I went out and got this car because it's easier to walk into a dealership and get a car with no money than it is to walk into, a shop and get your car fixed with no money. And my plan was to get rid of, after I get my debt squared away, fix my old car and then get rid of this car.
Terry, here's the deal, man.
I have a car to make the money.
There's no reason you had to go out and get a $30,000 car making $40,000, all in the name of I do DoorDash.
What are you doing, brother?
So we can help you get out of debt all day, but we got to get to the root.
I know you're trying to get by, man. You're just digging the hole and making it deeper and deeper and deeper. And I know it feels like you got to be running because you're scared, and I get that, man. But you got to stop, okay? Stop.
So, Terry, what was the credit card debt in? You had $37,000. What were the purchases?
It's just usually paying bills and stuff to get by. Like I said, $30,000 of that is the car. If I exclude the car, it's closer to $5,000.
Okay. Well, selling the car is going to clean this up. You need to find a way to produce more income. It may not be DoorDash, maybe a career change to start making 50, 60, 70, even if it's for a short time.
Yeah, get after it.
But this is going to take some intense sacrifice. It's going to have to take a mindset shift where you go, debt is not an option anymore. No more debt.
You don't need a $30,000 car. Get a $5,000 car, man.
And I want you to feel the sacrifice. And it's not going to feel good, but when you're debt-free, you will say, this was 100% worth it. And we can get a nicer car later when we have the money for it. Thanks for the call, man. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's John Deloney, co-host of The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? A lot of those people listen on one of our 600-plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, go to RamseySolutions.com/show.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
From Ramsey Network, this is The Ramsey Show, where we help you get control of your money, get ahead in your career, and get on the path to living well. I'm George Camel, your host, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. Some call it the Dream Team. No one calls it that, John. I'm sorry. I don't know why I even tried.
You and I call it that. We high-five each other and chest bump in the hallway. It's like, this is the Dream Team.
We are pumped to take your call. 888-825-5225 is the number to call. And Chris is kicking off this hour in Columbus, Ohio. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate you taking my call. I would wish you a happy National Donut Day, but of course I'm dark and I didn't get to do that.
Oh, well, I didn't know it was National Donut Day.
Gosh, what a terrible time I chose to cut out
Wasn't
carbs
on
and
my
sugar.
calendar.
Yeah. What's up, man?
So I am. We started the Ramsey plan a couple years ago, and of course, me being one of those guys, I know Dave talks about. I didn't follow it completely. I'm like,
You're
we
ish.
can skip things. Yes, and then I was paying off a credit card every month. Not accumulating, not getting interest, and then I wasn't. So. I decided it was time to not lock the line. Let's just get done with it.
So you're ready to go all in. Is that what you're committing to on this call?
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We're all in. So what I'm dealing with though is we're a one income family, and we have a pretty large family actually, and we're going to be a family of 7. We have a new one that's going to be coming next month. So
Wow.
it's an exciting time, but it's a hard time to start in this process and try to get out of that. So I'm really just trying to figure out a way when both me and my wife doesn't work a job, but she works at home plenty. So
Sure.
how to get extra income. And also, I feel like it's probably not a wise decision to spend money to get out of debt. I heard a show not too long ago where, we talked about, it's a good time to, fix cars, and I actually work on my cars, can fix them and, try to sell it for more, but that has an investment in the beginning. Or even like we were looking at the Ramsey Plus, right, which I think would help us. But, is it just a good time to spend money to actually get an income?
Let's not go that route as our first option, for sure.
Yeah.
So what's your income now?
About 63 to 65.
Okay, what do you do?
I am a business analyst at a bank.
Cool. Okay. And you're looking to increase your income. Clearly, your wife's got plenty on her plate, and so you are going to be you're going to be our ticket here to get rid of this debt faster. How much debt do you have?
We are sitting right about just above 11,000.
11,000. Okay. What kind of debt?
Yeah. About 2,000 to 2,500 on a credit card, and then the rest is a car payment.
A car payment. What's the car worth?
It's right around that amount.
Okay. What's the amount?
It's about 8,500, so I'm gonna guess around 8 to 10.
Okay. Cool. What kind of car is this?
It's the van to carry everybody in.
I figured it was the kid hauler. Okay. Well, to me, making $65K, what's the current rate of debt payoff for $11,000, according to your estimations?
So I'm really, I think it's going to take us a couple years if we just make minimum payments, which I don't want to do.
Well,
right?
so I heard where you're going, George. 63,000 with 7 kids. You have no margin. Y'all barely make it every month. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you can't breathe. Fair?
So yeah, we've already cut out. We don't do cable.
Yes.
I did cancel our 2 streaming services, so we got that out of the way. So
I'm all
we're
about canceling screens, but you got 7 kids. Even you deserve a streaming service, okay? Here's the thing. This is just 2 guys hanging out having chips and queso, okay?
Yeah.
I can hear it, the freneticness in your voice. Your life is chaos. Is that fair?
It has its ups and downs. It's quieter at night during nap time.
Spoken like a true business analyst at a bank, right? It's, the market goes up, it goes down. Listen, what I want for you, what George and I want for you, is that you be able to breathe. And with your set of skills, I want you to go find a job that's doubling your income. And that might mean you have to leave a bank that you really love the people, but you've created a life for yourself that involves 7 mouths to feed. And so there's 9 of you, and I don't know that y'all make it on $63,000. I want you to go find a job or 2 jobs for a season and let your wife know we're going to make some sacrifices that are going to be gnarly for 24 months so that we can all breathe. And the kids are going to get their dad back, and you're going to get your husband back. Because right now, even when you're home, you're still rattling. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, for sure. My goal was to sell everything. I've heard that, sell everything about the kids. But I don't know. If you can have kids work, we got plenty of that.
No, you can't. You can't.
The best solution is Chris goes and finds a better business analyst job. I just did a quick Google search. In Ohio, the average salary for a business analyst in Ohio is $79,000. And so to me, you're saying you make 63. I think it's time to go job searching and clean up the resume. Ken Coleman's got some great resources for nailing the interview, cleaning up the resume, and getting that job.
We'll send you a copy of Paycheck to Purpose so you can kickstart you on that journey, okay?
For sure.
Ken's book.
But that's going to be your best way to increase income quickly without working 80 hours a week and never seeing your 5 kids.
7 kids.
Yeah.
Well, you got a family of 7, right?
5.
I thought you had 7
It changes
kids
everything.
Plus, okay, yeah.
John says no excuses.
That's way easier.
5 kids, that's simple. Easy.
Yeah, right. I have 2 kids. I don't even know what day it is, man. Here's the thing. Something's gonna have to give, and I don't want it to be you and your sanity, and I don't want it to be your marriage, and I don't want it to be your kids. So the only thing left in that equation is either geographic area, which if you're plugged in, you're plugged in, or it's going to have to be a new job or 2 new jobs. And that might mean you have to get some new training, get retooled in some things, or it might mean, like George said, I just got to spend some evenings over the next couple of months sending out resumes like crazy, calling some old contacts, connecting with people that I know in other banks and other industries, maybe go work for the state, whatever that looks like. And I want you to sit down and make a goal. I want to make $120,000. That's my goal. And you've got a job now that you've got, so when you are negotiating, when you're sitting down, what do you need? I need about 120, right? You can start to put these numbers out there without having to worry about food because you already have a job. But I think you're worth that. And this will give you some space. There's no business taking 2 years to pay off $11,000. That should be 4 or 5 months. And I want you to set yourself up financially so you can do that.
Yeah, to create that margin, which you're going to need for the rest of the baby steps. Getting the emergency fund in place, investing, paying off the house. So this is going to be a long-term solution, which I like for you. Thanks for the call, Chris. This is The Ramsey Show. Welcome back to The Ramsey Show. I'm George Camel, joined today by Dr. John Deloney. So, John, we get a lot of emails that flood this place. Some good, some bad. Some people just want to warn others of what's going on in their world. And so we got some emails that I want to share with you today that I think might grind your gears. One is from Kendrick, and here's what Kendrick had to say. The bank in my town encouraged parents to bring their children in to get a micro loan to start a lemonade stand. What are your thoughts on this event? Pictures attached. Let's see those pictures. Look at this. Okay, it says we have $30 micro loans for your lemonade stand business. Youth entrepreneurs offer good to the first 50 applicants of registered Lemonade Day businesses. Wow. Okay, and there's a said photo of a child who's very excited meeting a frightening man who has a lemon head mask thing. What is going on here, John? And here's what they're saying. Some of these kiddos are having so much fun with Lemonade Day. Makes Lemmy so happy.
They're not going to have fun when they're figuring out how Preparation H works from their hemorrhoids.
Wow.
Because, gosh. Hey, can we all just say this? Can we all just say this as a society? Can we leave the kids alone? What about your life? when you look at it, and you owe banks everything. They own your house, they own your cars, they own your couches, that you think, you know what, the best thing I could do is rope my kid into this. God almighty, stop. In banks, dude, some of my best friends on the planet work in banks. I have high respect, but don't go after children. They don't need $30 to have a lemonade stand. You know what you could do is you could have a how to let them go pull weeds around your building day. Stop hiring some fancy crew, hire some kids to do it so they can earn $10 and they can go cash flow their lemonade stand. And then they can deposit their money in their bank so you can use it for whatever. You can loan it out to some other more. But leave the kids alone. Dude, George,
put that
this
in
is
your lemonade and drink it, John.
Normally I have fun. This pisses me off.
I mean, it's fun to
you're
laugh at.
That kid is excited. You know why? Because somebody handed him cash and he has no idea what he just signed up for.
A $30 loan. How about just, I don't know, go to your local Walmart and get some lemonade packets and make it for $1.
Well, it might be $30 now. Inflation, George.
What is the startup cost for a lemonade business?
That orange face
So
or the
creepy.
big yellow lemon face is going to give that kid
John,
nightmares.
there's more where that came from. You want
good.
more of this?
Keep them coming.
Okay, Emily emailed in. This is on a related note. She said, I bet your team is already aware of this, but I was shocked to see a credit card company trying to get my 14-year-old hooked on student loans. I don't even know how they got his name or address. This is from Discover Student Loans, and it talks about get a student loan that works for you.
Yeah.
All caps.
Yeah.
We'll cover up to 100% of school certified costs with zero fees. We reward you for good grades. That's right. If you have a 3.0 or higher, you can get a one-time cash reward
Discover
of 1% of the loan amount. Wow. A 14-year-old, John. 14.
I just went from hemorrhoids to just plain old rocket diarrhea with that one.
Wow.
That one's... Listen.
It got dark real quick.
Because... Oh, gosh. Now...
John can't even talk. He's so flustered.
I get so angry. Because here's what they're doing to children. They are weaponizing the brain chemistry that is connected to relationships. And you've got these companies going after children saying, I'm on your team. You can do life better with me. And so sign up young, and I'm going to reward you. And to a youngster's brain, to a child's brain, they go, sweet. And for many kids, they're getting rewards nowhere else. And the idea that somebody reached out and said, hey, I see you, and I'm going to reward you. That kid goes, I'm in. And now they're hooked for life because they are, golly, dude.
John, you worked in higher ed for many years, and you've seen how predatory these companies are towards college students. But now that they're going after teenagers and young children even younger than that and normalizing debt to go, oh, I took out a $30 lemonade loan when I was a kid.
At least when
now
I was 20 and 19, I was an adult, right? And not a very smart one. Not 14. Not 10, not 11, not 6. Let's all agree to leave the kids alone. And by the way, mom and dad, I don't know where they got this stuff. They get that crap off of social media. They get that stuff off of your kids signing up for things with this address. It's not just magic, right? Or you're putting your kids' names down. So be super protective of where your kids are putting their addresses and their names, because these aggregate companies are selling this stuff to people like that who show up and knock on the door as the friend fairy and saying, hey, I love you, and I'll give you money, and I'll reward you. Gosh, that gets me so enraged.
So parents, they're not innocent in this, John, because there's a lot of parents out there who go, well, it's good for Junior to learn how credit works.
No!
He needs to understand.
He needs to learn how...
He needs to understand how to pay back his debt in a wise way.
So here's how this isn't a theory. This isn't me just being upset. This is my house. I had a 12-year-old. And he is too young to go get a formal job at a bank, right, or at McDonald's or whatever. He is old enough to go next door or across the street and help our neighbors out in the country with their horses and literally shoveling cha-cha with a huge shovel and learning how the Polaris works and how to spread manure out on a field to help the grass. Like, he's learning so many cool skills, right? And he's earning a little bit of money that then he can put aside and say, hey, I want to invest in this, or he wants to start selling some of our chicken's eggs. And so it's like, cool, you can't afford to even do that yet, to buy the entry fee to the whatever you call them, the Saturday when they get together, the farmer's market. So let's go earn some money so that you can, right?
Yes.
And so we're going to say, teach them how to work, not teach them how to borrow, how to cut the system, how to hack the system, man.
We got to teach our kids that money comes from work, not from lenders who are not your friends, by the way.
Not your friends.
And all the marketing, they want you to go, John, we care about you. We want to give you some money to help you.
Gosh. Hey, pull that ad back up. I want to know this because this is going to tell me whether these are good people.
The lemonade one?
Yes.
It's up there.
Are these good people who have trying to teach kids how banks work, which is not what I want to teach my 12-year-old, but I get the sentiment. Here's how I know. Do they charge interest on this loan?
I don't see anything about interest. There's no telling.
Because if they don't charge interest, if they give a kid a $30 microloan for their lemonade business, the kid's got to return the $30 after 2 weeks, then they're teaching the kid that money's free. And just like a drug dealer, when the first, just take these joints, these are free, then we come back later. Then this kid's going to learn the hard way when he takes out a car loan or a student loan. Oh, no. We take a big chunk of that back. You owe us interest on that thing. If they're charging these kids interest, then at least they're teaching them they're showing them the full picture.
You owe $35.
You owe $35.
Yeah.
At least you're being honest. But if you just give that kid the money and then have them bring it back to you, dude, you are just giving him that first drug, that first hit free.
And that's what, John, a lot of people go, well, it's okay. I do credit cards because I pay them off every month. And the problem with all of this is you normalize the behavior and you go, it's okay to use someone else's money to live my life. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you go from 14 to 16 to 18, and you go, well, I grew up watching my parents with payments, so it's good.
I have a memory of going to the bank, and they all cheered me when they gave me $30, right, to go start my business.
And then you go to college, and the Discover is there at a table with a free T-shirt and a pizza if you sign up for their credit card.
And they're going to send you notes and $5 for A's. Woo!
It's ridiculous.
I don't know, dude. Let's just say this. As a society, let's leave the kids alone. You can get outside and make your grown-up decisions. Let's leave the kids alone, man. I got 2 little kids. It hits me in the guts. I hate it, man. I hate it.
John, I warned you. This was going to grind your gears, and I think
my gears are sufficiently ground, George.
There we go. We got there.
I didn't know I had gears to grind, but they're ground.
So parents, remember, more is caught than taught. If you want to help your kids avoid the mistakes that maybe you've experienced or you watched your parents experience, you can change your family tree, but it starts with teaching them that debt is not a tool to be leveraged.
And look at your life. If you're swallowed up in debt, commit to at least not passing that on to your kids.
Let your kid watch you become debt-free and watch how that changes your family tree. That is what I want to teach my kids, not how to get $30 to start a lemonade stand.
That's so ridiculous.
I don't want your lemonade. Go do something more worthwhile.
I do want your lemonade. I just want to pay cash for it.
There we go. I still don't want the lemonade, John. Too much sugar. You're trying to watch my physique. Anyways, this is the Ramsey Show.
Leather jacket of yours.
We'll be back soon. All right, so a lot of people would rather spend their weekend doing yard work than talk about insurance. Except for me, John.
I like yard work, actually.
And I like insurance more than yard work. But here's the deal. If you don't take the time to learn about this stuff, you'll always feel like you're getting ripped off or making all the wrong choices about your insurance. And around here, we think learning about money should be simple and, yes, even fun. And so our new free 5-day guide to insurance called Confidence in Your Coverage makes learning about insurance quick and practical, and you might even laugh out loud a time or two. And here's why I know that. Because I filmed the videos, John. It was me. I got to call the shots.
Do you read better than you just did?
Hopefully. There was a prompter, so that was very helpful.
All right, good.
So for 5 days, every single day, I will walk you through a new insurance topic in 3 minutes or less, unpacking everything you need to know to get the right coverage for you. To top it off, we're doing a giveaway for the folks who sign up for this series. So at the end of the series, you'll still have yard work. It'll be there, but at least you'll know your stuff when it comes to insurance. So go to RamseySolutions.com/confidence to sign up and get started. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com/confidence. If nothing else, sign up so that I can feel good, because I worked hard on these videos.
Listen, right now there's some
They're
people
fun.
saying, hey, I think I want to go see the new Top Gun this weekend. And somebody just went, hold on.
Insurance video
We've got
series.
5 insurance videos we can watch.
But if you're going to have to learn about it, let it be from me in 3 minutes or less for 5 days and call it a day.
I agree with that.
That's what I want.
It's better than scrolling Instagram and finding a TikTok video that's 32 seconds of some...
That's true. Unless it's me teaching you about insurance in a TikTok video.
Please don't do that.
Okay.
Be
Fair point.
Be better than that.
Well, sign up. RamseySolutions.com/confidence. I know John's going to do it. He needs all the confidence
I'm
he
about
can
to
get.
walk off the set and go watch those videos.
Thank you.
It's going to be hard for me to grind out the last 20 minutes here.
Let's go to the phones, because that's what I do when I want John to stop talking. Brittany joins us up next. She's in Baltimore. Brittany, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound great.
Thanks for taking my call. I want to thank the Dave Ramsey team for helping us get debt-free a number of years ago.
Awesome.
But my question is more pointing to help with helping someone, my spouse, who has been retired due to a disability for about 10 years. We are in a situation right now where we're cash flowing the kids' college. We are building a new home, and with the current market, those prices have come in about 20% higher than we've expected. And I'm encouraging him to go back to work, but he's full of false starts, and this has been going on for 10 years. Yeah. And I've tried the soft approach. I've tried the ambivalent approach. I can't get him to church. I don't know what else to do, and I'm running out of options, and I'm running out of time.
When you say you're running out of time, what does that mean?
Well, I'm at the age where I have about 10 years left in my career, and we're taking on a much larger mortgage than we had originally predicted. And so that either means that we take that on and we sell the house once we will no longer lose money, or I'm going to have to work much longer than I had planned. But we both have our limitations.
Yeah.
He has a number of illnesses as a result of being a first responder. He has a couple of layers of PTSD.
Yep.
And I've got some neurological damage from some long-term illness.
Okay. So what I hear in a house, here's what I hear in your house. That you've done this for a decade, you're tired, and you decide I'm going to go on living my life. And that life is going to include a house that you finally have been wanting for so long. The house it's going to include this, it's going to include that. You're about to set yourself up for a disaster. Okay? On a couple of fronts. Front number one, you've got to look at the last decade as a strong data set that suggests what the next decade is going to look like financially for you. And so taking on a giant mortgage with somebody who's struggling with a number of challenges is not wise. I get that you need it, that you want it, that you can't wait for it, but I'm just telling you as someone who cares about you, it's not wise. The second thing is you've reached the point where I'm just going to start lobbing grenades. It's not going to be you're not going to get the resolution that you want. It's not someone hasn't yelled at him in the right way to get him up. And I know that's hard to hear. The hardest thing to hear is you can't make him be motivated. And you're feeling as though he is not doing this to spite you because he doesn't care about your dreams, and he's not doing this because he feels like he's broken and he's hurt. And he's made some choices to not get well. He needs to get up and go get well. And he's choosing not to, right?
Right.
But
exactly.
Out of your anger and frustration, and I know it's real, so hear my voice. I'm not discounting. You've been doing this for a decade, and you love this man a lot, right? But God almighty, go get a job, right? I get that. But don't let that fire you off into a mortgage that you simply can't handle, and to having to work to be 80 years old to pay for a house that you really probably should never bought in the first place. The ultimate question here, and this is a scary question, is the or what. And so I'll ask you publicly, and you can say, I'm not ready to answer that. That's fine. Are you going to leave him? Are you there?
I don't think I've gotten to that point yet.
Okay.
But I've got to do something because this is taking an emotional toll on me, and it's starting to drag on my resilience, on my health.
Yes. Have you had I know you've had every conversation in the book. Have you sat down with him and said, I'm scared about what's next for us?
Yes.
Okay. What does he say to that?
I get a false start. He bought your book, and he said, well, I've already done the career I wanted to do. I don't know.
Okay.
Again, another false start.
Yeah. Have you gone to talk to somebody?
I have.
Okay. Was he willing to join you?
No.
So this is going to be hard for me to say out loud, but this is where we're at. You get to choose. This is the guy I'm with. This is the person that I married. This is who they have become. I don't love it for them. I don't love it for us, but this is it. I'm not going to leave them. I'm here. And so I'm going to look at the financial realities, the marital realities, the relational realities of that world. Or you can say, I'm going to start making plans to do something different. And all of the downstream challenges that's going to involve. But choosing to let this situation slowly steal your joy and your heart and what resilience you've got left and your exhaustion and bring just walking around inflamed all the time. I'll just tell you to love yourself enough to not do that. Make peace with where you are and choose to say, okay, I've got to live a world of joy inside this mess, or I've got to make some pretty radical changes. But right now you're just in limbo. You hear what I'm saying?
I do.
What I'm saying is tear-inducing. It's terrifying. It's scary. You got a house that you've been working. I mean, the whole thing, right? I get that, but you're drowning slowly.
Yes.
Right. And I need you to hear me say you're worth more than that. He is too, man. I would do anything for him to get up and get well. I would love that. But a cornerstone, the second step of getting well, is looking in the mirror and owning reality. Okay, this is the way this is. Has he told you he's just never going to do anything? He just won't? I mean, is there just no momentum? Is he just really suffering from depression and just kind of locked in place there?
Yeah.
Does he have some guys that could come over and talk to him? Some old guys from his old units to come over?
Nope.
Have you thought to reach out to some of them?
He will not.
He might not, but you're welcome to invite people to your house.
I've tried that.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay.
Brittany, is it too late to back out of this house situation, even if you lose a deposit?
No, it's too far in, but it's a situation that it'll be marketable, and so I don't have to endure it terribly long.
Well, you were so excited about this house, and the day one, you're already going to be stressed about it, wanting to get rid of it.
I know.
So I would look into all your options on that side, and maybe cash flowing college. You go, hey kids, we're going through a lot right now financially. College is on you, because we don't want to be a burden to you guys when you're out of college because we can't retire.
That's right. Or in a semester, we're gonna have to take a break. If you're a guy and you're in the situation listening to this, please, for your sake, for your family's sake, go get well. Go call somebody and say today's gonna be the day. And I hate this is your situation. I wish we could have a rosy ending to this call, but there's a hard reality to your situation. And you're gonna have to decide to make peace or to make some transitions. And I'm not gonna make that for you. You gotta make that call.
Our scripture of the day comes from Psalm 119, 89 and 90. Your word, Lord, is eternal. It stands firm in the heavens. Your faithfulness continues through all generations. You establish the earth, and it endures. Charles Spurgeon said, by perseverance the snail reached the ark. Good stuff. Open phones this hour, 888-825-5225. I'm George Campbell, joined by Dr. John Deloney. John's on the line in New York City. John, welcome to the show.
Hi, Ken and John. Thank you so much for taking my call and really appreciate all the work that you guys do.
Happy to do it. What's going on?
Yeah, so I've lived in New York City my whole life, born and raised here, and I'm looking to purchase a one-bedroom apartment here, which, the price point that I'm looking at and seeing for something that's not a total closet is around $600,000 to $750,000. And, over the past years, I've worked really hard and followed your guidance and teachings to get to the point where I have the ability to put down 20%. And when I look at my budget the past few years, I think from an income perspective, it actually makes sense to do that. But I figure if I do it on a 15-year fix and do 20% down, I'm looking at approximately 37% of my take-home pay. Ooh. And then if I do a 30-year, it would be 29%. Now, the take-home pay after taxes is approximately $12,500 per month. So if I went with the higher end of that, $750K, 15-year fix, looking at about $4,700. Now, my intuition is as a 25-year-old single person, the $8,000 per month after the housing payment. I mean, when I look at my budget the past few years, I'm spending, at most $1,500, $1,750 on the really, really high end per month on expenses outside of housing. So I figured that, I should be okay. I mean, that still would leave about $6,000 to $6,500 left over in income for me to use for investing, retiring, and ultimately powering me through baby steps 4 and hopefully 6, even paying that number down early. But your teachings and guidance have always been really valuable. So I was just wondering if if maybe my case might be an exception to the 25% of take-home pay rule that you guys have had over the past few years.
Well, John, we get these calls, fairly often where people go, am I the exception to the rule? And in this case, you're not special. And you're a special guy. You're a one-of-a-kind guy, but you don't get a pass on math because you live in New York City. Now, what's your income? You said you have $12,500 you take home?
Last year, I was at about $210,000, and then this year I'm pacing for about $260,000.
You're amazing. At 25 years old, what's your line of work?
I sell technology for a living, and I've just followed the principles that Dave and you guys have taught. Just keeping my head down, working the whole day, and putting in those 50, 55 plus hour weeks. And I'm very blessed and fortunate to be in a position where I can have a good income at this point.
That's awesome. And your after-tax income before take out 401ks and health insurance. What is that number per month? After just taxes.
I did take out 401k and health insurance to get to that $12.5K number. Without it, probably I'd say about $14K after taxes, no health insurance and no 401k.
Perfect.
New York City has the extra 4.5% tax that they kind of unfortunately get you with.
The bonus, yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm not hopping here. George is walking you through this. Are you commission based?
I'm 50-50. A good amount of it is commission.
Okay. All right.
So based on my math here, I'm using the mortgage calculator on our website. You would need a down payment of about $200,000, a little more maybe, to get into this place and not have it be, cause you to be house poor. So how much money do you have right now saved up for the down payment?
Yeah, so for the down payment, I've got $150K delineated for that, and then I've got an emergency fund of $30,000, and then I have another $40,000 that's currently in mutual funds in a brokerage outside of retirement.
Sweet.
So I could go to $190,000 without and still keep the emergency fund.
So this feels great then, because now I'm going, all right, how fast can we save up another $10,000? Probably a month or 2?
2 months. Yeah.
And so this is where I start to feel good about it, because now we're not trying to skirt it. We're not trying to find shortcuts. We're just looking at the math of it to go, oh, you can still live your life with an amazing income. And you said it's only going up, which means we can pay this thing off faster. And so I would not do a 30-year. I would not put less down. I'm just going to keep saving. And with your income, this is not a huge problem.
And how old are you, man?
I'm 25.
25? Okay. So you've been, since you've been working, as you entered into this field and you've been crushing it, you've been at the back end of one of the longest bull run in the history of humanity. Okay, the largest
100%.
wealth accumulation that has happened in a single run. That's been the only years you've worked. What you haven't been, and unfortunately all of us who are old have, is the seasons of crushing it, followed by nobody's buying any tech for 3 years because their businesses are trying to hang on, right? And so here's the math isn't to punish you, it's to prepare you, not if but when a season comes that suddenly your income drops to 150 or it drops to 95, which is a great salary, but it cannot float the scheme that you cooked up. Do you hear what I'm saying? And I know in your head, you're like, dude, that's never going to happen. I've made 210 and this year I'm making 260. Next year I'm projected to make. Just trust me, having been on the roller coaster enough, that sucker eventually has to come down, right? And it's just preparing yourself. If it comes down, I'm 20% of I've got to be able to cover 25% of my take-home pay. That's a lot of loss you can stomach in your salary, in your commissions, and still not lose your home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. And, that's kind of why I want to continue to save and invest, even if, so with the 25%, hopefully I can still save, maybe I only spend another 25% on top of that, still save half my income so I can have that nice, hefty amount in mutual funds. So, should I need to go beyond my emergency fund or should anything happen, I can still back that up and still sustain the mortgage and not have to go into any sort of distress.
Yeah, it gives you options and a lot of freedom there. And that's what I love about a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage where the payment's no more than a quarter of your take-home pay is that you still have 75% of your take-home pay to accomplish all of your other goals, to invest and save up for your kid's college or buy the engagement ring or
pay the house off.
Pay the house off.
Pay the apartment off.
And on top of that, guess what? A 15-year fixed-rate mortgage pays off in 15 years every single time, and that's a worst-case scenario, which means at 40 years old, if you just made minimum payments, just those same mortgage payments, you would have a paid-for property in New York City at 40 years old that probably is appreciated up to $1 million.
Or if you're a single 25-year-old and you work like bananas like he's been doing because this guy's brilliant and he's a hustler, and you have this thing paid off in 3 years.
Yes.
And then you've got the next however many years. Suddenly you get a $7,000 or $8,000 a month raise, right? Because I don't have any house payment. And you talk about investment, man. There's not a lot of investments that make you that kind of money every month, right?
Yeah. And the problem with the 30-year is they go, well, John, it'll give me wiggle room. I got to have that wiggle room, John. And you know what wiggle room really means?
George loves his wiggle room.
It grinds my gears, John. People say that. Yeah. Because the wiggle room quickly floats away into, I bought a new toy or there was this random expense that came up. When you do a 15-year, you go, well, guess we have to actually be disciplined.
That just is
and
what it is.
And be on a budget.
Yeah.
And figure it out and get creative and not make excuses. And so that's why we do it. Again, it's not to punish you. And if it's 26% of take-home pay, we're not going to send you a letter in the mail chastising. Listen, it's just a parameter because we want you to win. We want you to not have a mortgage long-term.
All right.
That's the difference with our show and the other get-rich-quick shows where they go, get as much real estate debt as you can because that's the path to wealth.
So nonsensical.
So our show is very very countercultural that way, John. You know that.
That's
you
right.
love that. Well, it's been fun, John. Thanks for hanging out with me for 3 hours.
And also with you.
You were forced to, but I think you also enjoyed it.
I got paid to do it, but since we're best friends, I was pumped to do it.
Well, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you to my co-host, Dr. John Deloney, all the folks in the booth, Austin and Ben and James and Zach and Andrew and Josh. They're all back there keeping the show afloat. In you, America, we appreciate you so much. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, spend wisely, save intentionally, and give generously. Do you love a good Dave Rant? Want to see the latest Ramsey Show videos going viral? Check out your favorite moments from The Ramsey Show on YouTube. Go watch and subscribe to The Ramsey Show channel on YouTube.